Hey YouTube, Greg, and I've had a couple of requests of a walk around of my 2019 Yamaha 210 FSH, and primarily I think it was to ask how I mounted a radar dome on a soft T-top. So it's cleaning day. We took it out to the lake yesterday, ran like a top, and I'll just give you all a walk around and show some features for some of the people that may be interested that aren't familiar with the Yamaha layout. So I'll just start at the front. Get you a good bow roller. The ones that come with the trailer will scuff up the bow of your boat. I put a little plate on there. It helps a bit. It's not really necessary. I did put a keel guard on the bottom. Here's the neighbor. And I had to cut out for the anchor locker drain hole. And I did put guideposts on, tall ones with amber and red lights on the top and pads, which helps in the wind. This thing is like a sail. Sometimes trying to get it on the trailer when it's super windy, so that highly recommend those, and it makes it easier to back up. So these are a must in my opinion. The thrust vectors really help with the steering. They kick up once you get on plane, so there's no drag. Added a light, drain plug light, pretty cool. It's a great feature, the lounge area in the back, so you can just swim up onto it. Super comfy for chilling out. Like I said, Yamaha, the layout of this boat is, in my opinion, just phenomenal. This is a nice feature. It's a dual engine. It has clean out ports down here. You can just reach down and pull these plugs. And if you suck up grass or fishing line or anything else, you don't have to get in the water. This hatch is storage. I've got my trolling motor batteries in there, two 12 volts for 24, and I have an onboard charger, a mallet down there for my stakeout pole. If I'm in the flats, hardly ever use that thing. The helm seat will swivel forward or backwards, which is nice. It's almost a landing area if you're fighting big fish. I sometimes run two of these big igloo ice chests. It fits perfect, and two of them will sit side by side. Put two sea deck rulers on, measuring fish. This thing I think has 22 or 24 pole holders, including the rocket launchers up top for rod storage. I upgraded the side of the helm to stainless steel. They come with plastic, PVC, and so I put stainless steel on that. Upgraded all the latches also to stainless steel locking. I took this over to Bimini June of 2021. Bimini, right there, with jetboaters.net, and it did fine for a 21-foot boat. So I wanted locking hatches on everything. Even the live well has a lock on it, which I didn't use it for bait on the crossing. I used it for storage. There are plenty of cup holders. There's two up here, one on each casting platform. There's two up here at the helm, and two more aft. And then I added this cell phone holder, drink holder, little storage caddy. I have a RAM mount that I use for my phone. It stays put, the X grip, it's just fine, but this will hold 5 cell phones and a couple of big mugs and everything. Up in the bow is a very large storage locker. Got a place for your 5-gallon bucket. It comes with one bailing bucket. I usually use that for the tubes and life jackets and floats and stuff like that. This is one of the best features. Now keep in mind this is only a 21.6 foot boat. So we have a head that flips up with a changing curtain and it steps down pretty good. I keep inflatable PFDs in that bag for offshore, fishing supplies. I have a subwoofer and wake tower speakers. I'll get to that in a minute. 2 amps, of course, fire extinguisher. We have toilet paper and everything else. We have a fan we keep down in here when we're going down to the coast, and just a camping toilet, which works real good. If you need to go, you got to go. And then I got some ice chest corners that I screwed down to the deck down there to hold this thing in place. But the whole thing pulls out, and it's handy, like I said, especially for girls. Brings us to the anchor locker up here. Wish it went sideways, but it doesn't. And got some boat bumpers, dedicated anchor locker storage. It cranks down. I use this for bumpers. Like I said, I haven't had to throw an anchor in forever. On the starboard side forward is I think it's a 26-gallon fish locker. I use this primarily for extra bumpers, trash bags, mooring lines and stuff like that. But if I'm offshore, I'll fill it with ice. Comfortable front seats for family, which again, you know, Yamaha put a lot of thought. It's not just a center console. It's you know, most boats are mission specific. It's either a bass boat or a party boat, you know, pontoon boat, or a center console, and it doesn't have a lot of family features. This one does. Has 2 casting platforms, which are nice up here. Cabinets are well thought out. It had a trash can in here. I took that out. I have barbecue stuff down here. I carry a grill on board if I'm going to the lake or something. Grill down there. Nice shelves over on this side. Forward port is just storage. I carry dry bag towels, extra flags and stuff when I fly flags, and a manual bilge pump. So this boat is jet drive. It's Yamaha, and it is powered by 2 of the TR1 jet motors. And I don't know how many horsepower it is, but it's fast enough. I've got 5 lead acid batteries on this boat. I have 3 more in here. 1 dedicated for starting and 2 for the house for the stereo and all that. You have the parallel switch, the yellow one there and everything. I carry tools. I'm heavy. Tools, safety equipment, fire extinguisher. There's an onboard charger for these batteries back there also. All right, get on to the electronics is what most people I think want to see. This is a Simrad. I think it is a GPS 5 GPS beacon. And then on the port side aft is a heading sensor for the Minn Kota trolling motor up there, which is super cool. I have not had to throw an anchor since I've had this thing. With auto deploy, it's GPS. You can plot routes, I think up to 50 routes 2 miles long. So if you're fishing a riverbank or a lake, you can record as you go and then play it back basically. And you can hit just spot lock anchor mode with this. It'll hold you offshore forever, all day. They are expensive, but well worth the money. Like I said, I have not had to throw an anchor since I've had this. Even just sit and party and drinking beer, you know, it'll just hold you all day long. Brings us to put 2 rigid headlights, spotlights on there for landing and everything. Works real good. And then that is a life cell, the orange box, with all the safety equipment. It's got a bracket, but I use 2 small little bungee little orange balls up there to keep it in place. You can pull it real hard, they'll bust. It'll come off in an emergency if you need to. Hopefully you never need to. Put 4 spreader lights around it, 2 on each side. They are adjustable. and they are the white blue. There's the white. Then you turn them back, turn them off, turn them back on, and they turn blue. And then linked to my nav lights, if I turn my nav lights on or my anchor light, that turns this light above me on, which I can turn that white or blue also up here. So I figure I would only ever need it at night when my nav lights were on, so I have that wired running down to the anchor and nav light switch. Now radar I put on accessory 4, and there's radar split screen with the chart on one side, radar on the other. You can have overlay, which is nice. That's normally how I run it. I have the Simrad, I don't know what model it is, marine radio. It is AIS and DSC, of course, with the distress. But I got the black box model, which is more expensive because I didn't want a whole lot of real estate being taken up with the whole radio. I'll show you the black box down in the head here in just a minute. Got the tea bag up on top. 4 life jackets in there. Never have to pull them out. I did take a couple of big cable ties, zip ties, because it would droop down a little bit, so keep it off your head and everything. And the tower speakers, they are loud enough with the 2 amps and everything, and the subwoofer. Now I'm old, so I wired a speaker up here above my head that goes to the radio also, so it comes out of the handset and the speaker up here above me. It's a great radio. I like it. Expensive. The Yamaha has what is called a jet wash, which you can turn that on, and there's a port. It comes with a coiled hose and a spray nozzle, and you can wash down your boat with, you're washing it down with whatever water you're in. So if you're in salt water, it's spraying salt water, and it runs off the jet motors. And then the no wake and cruise assist, great feature. When you're just in gear out of neutral, you've got 2 settings for the no wake, and I think it goes up to, my boat, it's like 3 miles an hour, then 6 miles an hour if you hit it twice, which is great for, you know, no wake zones, obviously. And then the cruise assist, once your RPMs get up over 3,000 RPM, you can click this. You have 8 positive and 8 negative settings, basically. So if you set your throttles at 5,500 RPM, for each click of this button, it'll raise the RPMs by, I think, 500 RPM, I believe. So if you're pulling tubers, or you just want to maintain your speed, if you're in rough seas, you're bouncing around and your throttles are, you know, everyone knows about that, how hard it is to maintain one specific speed manually. So that takes all that out of the loop. So that's a great thing. So all the Simrad electronics is linked with a NEMA 2000 system network. So for example, everything talks to itself. So if you put the chart plotter on night mode, the radio will go into night mode also, stuff like that. Daytime, nighttime. The GPS is controlled not through the chart plotter, but through the radio with the GPS 5 by Simrad. You can choose whatever GPS sensor you want if you want the chart plotter, but the GPS 5 and the Precision 9 compass, which is down in the head right there, and that is required if you want to be able to track other vessels through something called MARPA, M-A-R-P-A. So you can track, I think, up to 5 vessels, so like 5 of your buddies, or if there's a questionable vessel that's coming your way or something, you can set zones also with your radar. For collision alerts and stuff like that. I have 2 antennas up here. This one here is an 8-foot Glomex. They're both Glomex, I think. That's for the VHF. And then this antenna is a 4-foot, and that's specifically for the AIS. AIS, if you don't know, all commercial vehicles or vessels have to have AIS, Automatic Identification System, I believe is what it stands for, and they have to transmit. A lot of boats can receive but cannot transmit AIS. I opted for transmit and receive. You can go into silent mode if you don't want commercial vessels or people seeing where your boat is at. You can go into stealth mode basically. So on the radar, even if you don't have radar, you can see AIS vessels, commercial vessels, tankers and fishing vessels and stuff like that will appear on your chart if you have AIS. Back of the helm, you've got a nice little cubby area here. I ran the cord for the black box VHF down here, and it unscrews, and it has a cap that you can cap it off when you pull that out. A USB and auxiliary in, and then of course the lighter plug here. Everything has its own separate circuit breaker, which I've never had to use. Nice little landing place for your feet, and a glove box. And so the life cell, like I said, that deploys. You pull it, it falls down. I have an EPIRB right here when I go offshore, just in case. That's a satellite transmitter position locator. The life cell itself is buoyant, I think up to 35 pounds. They're proud of it, they're expensive. And then I've got flare gun and smoke and dye and all that stuff, the safety flags and everything you need, strobes, all that. And then I do carry a handheld VHF with DSC with the distress button on that thing also. Just in case. How do you mount a radar to a soft top? You have to have a stable platform, and so I got I believe it's a 3/4 inch piece of starboard, and I mounted it to my T-top. You can see the bolts up here, stainless hardware. Just 4 bolts. This is the mount for the life cell. You do have to drill a hole through your top, of course, but the base, the platform, I'll show you just a second, mashes it down, pancakes it in there, put some silicone, some E6000, and then ran the wires back here, drilled another hole, and ran it down all the way down here to the head. You can see the other wire sticking out right here. So everything is down there. We got pretty good stereo, standard. It's not great, works good though. It is Clarion, and then there are 4 speakers, 1 on each side of the helm, and then 2 forward. But I added, like I said, the 2 of the tower speakers, which are really loud and clear, and then the subwoofer downstairs. So down here in the head, like I said, you have your speakers. There's a light, and I added a lighted mirror for the ladies. Like I said, fire extinguisher, toilet, storage bag. I carry another tool bag on that side as well if I'm going long distance. Never had to use tools. Then there is a sub volume control down here, because if you're trying to do your business, it'll blow you out with the bass, so you can turn that down, up or down. Wet sounds and a JL audio amp. So here's the Precision 9. That is a precision compass, and again, that's for tracking other vessels through your radar. Curtain comes down, and this is the NEMA 2000 network. Everything links together, that talks to everything else. So this is the VHF, the black box, so your radio can be hidden and you just have the handset up top. So back at the Simrad, easy access to all your switches and wires up here. I do have a hailer, and I just have it down here. I've never had to hail anybody with the loudspeaker. I didn't want to mount it up top. So on the chart plotter, it came with a Simrad Go 9 XSE, I think is what it is. I do have 2 nav cards in there. The C-Map, Insight, and the Navionics Platinum Plus, which I use the Platinum Plus. It has satellite overlay and everything, which is pretty detailed. All the waypoints on here. I'm not going to show you all my fishing spots. This is out of Corpus Christi, Port Aransas area. Is normally where I fish, offshore Texas. Not as pretty as Florida, but we have fish too. So there's a truck coming down my street. See if I get him on the radar. Yeah, there he is, the red dot. And he's gone. So that radar is phenomenal. It'll pick up sticks sticking up out of the water, buoys, people, jet skis. It even shows I'm zoomed in far enough or close enough, it'll show my own wake on my boat. It's a good system, first radar I've ever had. And I'll hop up top, I'll show you the mount that I got. It's a C-scan radar. Oh, also on the bolt heads I put little round caps so there were no sharp edges pointing or poking through the top. And then the pool noodles, that's just to protect the top from the antenna smacking around as I'm trailering it. So good boat, well thought out, family friendly, good fishing vessel, reliable, dual engine with a bathroom for the girls. Couldn't ask for much more, except for more horsepower and more length. It's always better. So here's where she sleeps. So I highly recommend keeping your boat covered at least, and in a storage locker if you can find one big enough. And it seems like for every hour of playing there's about 4 hours of cleaning and maintenance, you know, do your 50-hour oil changes and all that junk, and keep it running, keep it nice, tighten up all your screws and do your maintenance.